Welcome everyone to our Global Trade Talk series, and we have the great pleasure to have Srinath with us, the trade finance guru in the world. You're in fact building the next generation of trade financier, which we really need. When we look at the world today, there's a lot of uncertainty. So what's your take from a trade finance perspective?
The bottom line is trade is important and it's necessary, particularly from a geographical perspective. You're speaking from Mauritius and your focus on Africa. This partnership is something that is very, very important, critical for the future development of the countries in this region. So trade will grow, will survive, but it may change the form. MCB has a leadership position in the banking system in Africa. So how is MCB preparing itself for what the future lies ahead for trade?
MCB has always been into trade, and we just recently launched our Vision 2030. So it's very clear that Africa is a strategy for us. Africa is going to grow in the next 25 years. You look at the youth populations, you look at the demands, the consumption from the continent. So it's definitely where we are looking at in terms of African trade corridors. We particularly look at trade finance. There are also other line of business we looked at, but trade finance is where we find more opportunities, tangible opportunities. We need to build trade finance. We need to have capabilities, and we need to have people that can go the extra mile, because this is where we'll make a difference. I feel that having partnership with banks is very important, collaborators and partners, but where it makes sense is the prosperity that we are able to bring to African continent and really bring our positive contributions towards what other bankers are also doing. And for you now, when we talk about African opportunities and African trade finance, how do you see this growing, and what are the trends that you can see?
The view from a commodity trader's ability to source or penetrate a market is quite different from how a bank might look at it. A bank is hamstrung by having to observe credit ratings for countries. But the fact of the matter is that there is going to be opportunities, not the traditional way. Vast majority of the exports from Africa is in the raw commodities, and imports is for everything else that they need. There's a clear necessity to have value addition being done locally in order for exports to take place. And that's a transition that is not just about bringing in capabilities like manufacturing, processing, etc., but it's also about creating the infrastructure like the free trade agreements that African countries sign with their partners overseas. Another trend that all banks have to be prepared for, because this is now a train that's not going to stop, is digitalization. So digitalization of processes is going to bring some degree of transparency in markets. The problem that many businesses and banks face in Africa is the lack of credible information on opportunities, on growing sectors. So if that can be amended and improved through a process of digitalization, one of the things that digitalization offers is visibility. So if banks have greater visibility and banks are able to evaluate the true riskiness of transactions, there's a huge upside waiting to be mined. And banks should take advantage of it. And given this exclusiveness of the African trading space, is MCB all set to promote, for example, intra-African trade?
It's definitely something that we are looking at. We believe that today intra-African trade is undervalued. Currently it's sitting around 16 to 18% of African trade as general. So there is opportunities to grow, and we are in fact having tools to try to promote African trade to our clients. I would say, for instance, the Global Trade Portal is how we can help clients to tap into the opportunities of Africa, both from a buy and sell perspective. Secondly is we've made that into the limelight with our recent trade report that was launched last year, really putting emphasis on the potentials and perspective of the African continent. We need people to really go beyond travel, meet the clients, understand the value chains, and from then on really do bespoke trade financing, and also have this mindset that Africa is a land of opportunity. Risk will always be there. Yeah. Challenges in terms of FX will be there, but we need to now understand and be able to see how we can make solutions and make it bespoke to be able to untap these opportunities. Any last recommendations, comments?
The trade finance community is in the process of changing the way in which they approach their participation in the trade transaction. And it's going to be an exciting period going forward. And the youngsters who are coming in need to prep themselves on knowledge about products and practices, and then have the ability to engage with the customer, to engage in conversations and information exchange that allows the bank to take a decision with their eyes wide open as to what's happening out there, what are the possibilities, and what could go wrong. You craft all that, and then you listen carefully to what the customer really needs. You might have some sort of a viable solution.